Today's episode is being sponsored by Newform. Newform is community in app form. It helps you connect with others going through similar stuff, whether it's recovery, grief, anxiety, or you just feel like you need community. And the best part about the Newform app is that it's free. It offers daily live and virtual experiences from recovery meetings and yoga to creative workshops, run clubs. It's led by amazing and trusted organizations like the Phoenix, Smart Recovery, and Mental Health America. This app has already connected hundreds of thousands of people across the United States. It also has very cool features that help you track progress, like personal recovery milestones. And look, it's just a space to connect. 7 out of 10 people say they feel more connected as a result of using this app. So if you're looking for support or community and you're not really sure where to start, check out Newform. Just go to newform.org or search Newform Recovery and Wellbeing in the app or Google Store. This is an amazing application. It's free and it's led by great people. Check it out.
You know, it's funny, I say welcome back to this show, and there's no guest today, which feels nice. Freeing. Not a lot of preparation. And I'm here with Jay, who's my co-host. We're just going to kind of get into it. Welcome back. So this podcast started a little bit over a year ago, and people are listening. People are actually listening. They're writing in. Our viewership or our listenership is going up. And one of the things I love to do is build community. So if you are out there and you actually are listening and you're not a robot, which I don't think robots listen to this, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from you. Send in, DM the Instagram page, share some of our clips. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. I know for us, we're really thinking about, I'll bring you guys under the hood for a second. We're thinking about a little rebrand. We're thinking about, you know, how we bring some more structure to the episodes, which I think when I listened back to some of them, there's some really abrupt endings and abrupt openings, and we want to make it a little easier for you guys. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just right now. I'm looking at the camera. I'm looking at myself because we have the open right. I think I look very white. I'm white. I'm white, but like exceptionally white.
Jay, I have so many questions for you.
Go ahead.
You've lived the New York City actor life. Like what?
Correct.
And what is the difference between you and Leonardo DiCaprio? Jay's trying to fix the camera. We have no help today. Sarah, our producer, got sick. She threw up in front of 30 people on the train, which is my worst nightmare.
It was her worst nightmare too.
You look fine. So my question is, what like?
I mean,
you go to all these auditions. You have an agent. You have a manager. You've had some nice stops in Blue Bloods and a few other movies here. But what is the difference between you and a Leonardo DiCaprio? You and someone
let me just say this:
catches that break.
When you say, I mean, there are so many actors out there, man. There are so many really talented actors. And that's like, I think the most heartbreaking thing is that, you know, the cream rises to the top and all this shit. Sometimes it really doesn't, because I know a lot of people who are very talented and, you know, the timing, the luck, it's all those things. I mean, like when you're talking about someone like, I mean, you know, when you're talking about how does someone get a break, right? Like I've been very close to some jobs.
What's the closest you've been to a major role?
I mean, I've you know, tested for TV shows. I've done chemistry reads for studio films. You know, not a lot, but enough to where if one of those had hit, you know, it could have changed a lot of things. But like even when you book the job, it still has to like be the job.
If your dad or if your son came to you and said, "Daddy, I want to be an actor," what would you say?
I mean,
non like, yes, we want our kids to do, but like that answer, you want your kid to be happy.
No, I think about that all the time because on one hand, I think that part of a pathway to success is to start early.
Yeah.
But like, do you want to subject your kid to, you know, what that world is? I mean, like the mommy managers and all that. Like that's like real shit. Like I'd go on commercial auditions, where it's like Big Brother, Little Brother, and like you've got like, you're standing in a room with a producer, director, and you and like little Timmy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's just like, does Timmy know what the fuck is going on right now? No, he doesn't. But what I'd say to him, I really would say like, look, like, at its core, like you really gotta love acting.
Well, it's like anything in life. I feel very fortunate that I love my job. I've been like in between the lines the last couple of weeks, and nothing fills my cup more.
See, I think that to me, like I think that's one of the luckiest things to be able to say, right? Is that your work doesn't feel like work.
But people stay stuck, man. People stay stuck out of fear, and they don't think there's something else on the other side of whatever they're doing that could make them happy. And so I know people that have worked at the same company for 30 or 40 years, or friends of mine that got this job out of college and they've been there 25 years now, and they can't fathom taking a risk, which is scary to me, man. Like you get one shot, life is moving fast.
Yeah, I mean, I totally, I definitely think people are wired differently. I think that like, the life factors, family, kids, bills, money, all that shit plays into it. But like, one of my biggest fears is just constantly like the amount of time that you put into your job, whether you like it or not, is so much of your life. And so like, I look at some people and I'm being judgmental because I'm looking at certain jobs like I would never fucking want to do that. How does that person wake up every day and do this job?
I'm very distracted.
Why?
Because, all right, so here's the deal. I have this plant. I'm going to get this plant.
Oh, wow. Zach has a plant that he thinks is dead and dying.
No.
Well, then why don't you fucking water the plant?
No, there's a story behind this plant. I'm going to show you this plant.
God, I'm bearing my soul, and you're just looking at your fucking dead plant. Whatever.
So here's the plant. I'm distracted. Here's the plant. This plant, so in sobriety, they tell you get a plant first. If you can take care of a plant, then maybe you can get a dog. And then if you can take care of a dog, maybe you can get a girlfriend or a boyfriend. This plant was given to me by my mother. And we're talking about jobs. We're talking about business ownership. Everyone in my office at Release knows how special this plant is to me. This plant has died several times because people, when I am traveling or not around, forget to water the plant. When I came in this morning, as you can see, the plant was not doing so great. Now, this plant is a resilient plant, and if you water it, it does come back to life. But it blows my mind that I care and love so much for this plant. And there are many, many days when I walk in, this plant is, and that's...
How long have you had the plant?
4 years, 5 years. I mean, my mother sent me this plant when we opened this office. It is so special to me, this plant. And people know that it's special to me because I've had little teaching moment meltdowns with the team where I pull everyone into the room and say, if we can't keep this plant alive, how are we going to run a business?
So what does that say?
If you want something done right, you got to do it yourself.
I mean,
I care about this plant. I can't expect other people to care about this plant as much as I do. Water your plants, folks. Water your plants.
There's the teaching moment. What do they say? What do we say? Expectations are resentments under construction. I've had a couple people tell me that recently, and I hate hearing that. Although I know it's true.
So the plant, the job, the life, the thing. I don't know, man. It's.
Dude, my point is that you're lucky, right? Is that you're lucky. If you really feel like you wake, and I hate, look. We're just bombarded on social media by everyone telling us, this is the right way to live, how to live. But like, if you get to show up to a life, a job that you love, like you're lucky. You're very lucky.
Social media, mental health and social media. So I'm going to share. We're going to have some visual learning today. So I have here undone. That's okay. My shirt's covering it. So you talked about social media. So I woke up.
Guy's got 2 phones in hand, by the way. He's fucking serious.
2 phones. I woke up last Monday morning and my phone was green. It was done. It had it for 5 or 6 years and it was just toast. So I went to the Apple store and we had, at the office here, we had a phone, which was like the content phone, which is this phone. And we take content on this phone, but it also has a phone number and it's been within the organization for a couple years. I bought a new phone and put my phone number on it. When you buy a new phone, you have to log back into all of your apps.
Yeah.
And I made a conscious decision to not log into Instagram and X, Twitter, and anything else on my personal phone. And I've only downloaded social media on this phone, which I am now using as my work phone. And I can tell you, I have felt great the last 2 weeks. I know it's a luxury to have 2 phones, but it has really made me think about my relationship with the internet. And
because what happens to you? What happens to you when
you lose time? You compare out. You ask yourself why you weren't invited to something, or it's just, I don't know, you just get lost. I get lost. Time will fly by. Just, they call it doom scrolling. It doesn't even have to be doom scrolling. I could just be laughing at something, but I'd rather laugh at something with people than with my phone in my hand on my couch under the covers. Right? I mean,
no, I did.
Sleeping better.
You know how I feel about, like, I really, I don't like Instagram and, social media. Like, I just, like, I understand when people talk about the value, and
which blows my mind because you were just taught you're an actor. You should love to have the camera on you. Like, it's actually, the thing I love about social media for actors is it gives you an opportunity to work on your craft and lift your craft up.
I probably would be more successful. I probably would have been more if I actually, but I always, because even, people say all the time, like, you're an actor, like, just lie. And like, and I know this could sound pretentious and bullshit, but like, the best actors that I know, like, are really bad liars. What they're good at is telling the truth.
Yeah.
And as an actor, you do that under imaginary circumstances, blah, 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 blah. But like, I hated that. And I still have I still find it uncomfortable to, be me in front of, on camera,
Yeah.
But like, I feel like, on the other hand, just look at how podcasts have exploded, and that the best podcasts are people who basically become an extension of your living room. You have them on, you're hearing their personal life. People love that. People want to do that. It's, I'd rather be doing this than posting something on a
that's
page.
fine, but then you have to kind of promote it or market it.
I know,
and I'm not convinced that social media is the best way to market these things. I mean, look, as I started with today, people are starting to listen to this thing, and not starting. I mean, people have always listened, but there's been a little uptick recently in our listenership, and that's why I'm asking the people who are listening what they want, because I feel like we owe it to them to kind of listen and take some of the feedback and run with it.
Well, I agree with you.
I mean, this episode feels a lot easier than having a guest here who we have to prep for and talk to, and we never know what we're going to kind of get from them. Like, this feels easier. This feels better to me.
Yeah.
And
people have asked for that. People have
yeah.
There has been feedback, like, we want to see more of, Zach's personality. So here it is.
Yeah.
But with what you're saying made me think about, look, like, when we talk about this show, we obviously like to talk to people who deal in the behavioral healthcare field, wellness, all of it. Like, it's not just about, sobriety, recovery, because it's an all-encompassing thing. But I do think that, like, where, my expertise as in experience, and your expertise in experience and expertise, in your professional life, lies in recovery and sobriety. And like, I do think that sometimes we take for granted how much, just simple information can help a lot of people about like getting sober, early sobriety. How do you know when you have a problem?
Yeah.
Are you seeing like in your work at Release, are you seeing like, is there anything that you're seeing recently that you're like, oh, this is like a new trend. This is emerging as something as a potential problem.
A new trend in
a new like, I've seen a lot of kids, younger people struggling with marijuana, or if
we've talked about the weed thing. I mean, like I feel like I've kind of beaten that horse to its death, but
well, you felt like you got beaten as like a dead horse when you put that thing on.
Yeah, I mean, I posted something about marijuana. I mean, look, and I get it. There's a lot of people out there that are hyper passionate about their experience with marijuana because it's helped them. It has helped them. It has helped them cope with pain. It has helped them cope with anxiety and depression. And the reason I'm not going to fight that person is because I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the young kid who is 15 years old smoking marijuana for the first time and has no idea how potent that shit is. And they're smoking themselves into a marijuana-induced psychosis. And once you've done that, it is very, very hard for the best clinicians, the best doctors, the best anything to bring a child back from that.
Yeah.
So I don't give a shit if you're 35 years old and you're out there smoking weed. Have a bong hit for me.
Right. Me either. Same with alcohol.
So it's just, and that's why it's so hard sometimes to have a public opinion on shit because people feel attacked. I'm not attacking you. I am open-minded enough to understand that my way, I'm not God. I don't have the answers to everything. I have my lived experience and I have my professional experience, and I try to combine those things to give good advice and to share useful information.
Right. Especially when people are coming to you asking for help.
Right. So the marijuana, I mean, look, there's a crowd. I'm thinking I'm going to roll some content out on a crowd. I'm like, if people are buying this stuff in the smoke shops and more people are showing up in treatment centers.
Oh, man.
For that.
I just remember when we went and did the college tour, and the guy that we were working with who did sound, he absolutely was obsessed with kratom.
Yeah.
I still don't even really know what kratom is.
Yeah, we'll get into it. I don't think it's for here. I mean, like I think it should be something that we put out in a more concise way, because I don't. Again, I'm very particular about the way that I talk about certain things because I don't want to put bad information out there. I can tell you some of the effects of kratom. Like if you start using it in small doses, it gives you a speed-like effect, and then if you use it in large doses,
so it's an amphetamine.
It's gonna give you an opioid-like effect. It's a synthetic drug.
Okay.
That is
yeah.
In smoke shops.
Yeah.
But it's a drug.
Yeah. People
are getting physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually addicted to it.
Right. What do you think about when people say, everything's an addiction, or you can get addicted to anything? I mean, like, what do you think about that?
Look, dude, I look at the world differently than most. I have a pretty strong feeling or hypothesis that most of our world's issues stem from the behavioral healthcare crisis that we continue to be and fail to recognize. And I'll give you a couple of examples. One, the Coldplay cheater. This guy is a CEO of a large company. He is at a concert with coworkers.
Yeah.
He's got a beautiful family and kids at home. And he goes to this concert and gets caught on the big screen with his director, his HR director.
Yep.
The last person, not that any of it's okay, but literally the last person that you should be doing that with.
Yeah.
His follow-up was hilarious. I mean, he tried to say that people took away his privacy.
Was that a real letter or was that AI generated?
I
was confused whether or not that's
regardless of whether it's true or not. I think he made a statement, and who knows if it was real.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, like, he's sneaking. That's a drug to him. Sneaking around, getting away with it, having this affair, no one knowing. Then he starts to bring, like, the other girl that was there. She's in on the secret now. And it becomes this whole other world that's addicting to him. So I'm not going to go and say this guy's a sex addict, But there was clearly something about this affair and this relationship that felt good to him and which made him continue to do it. And same with the lady running HR. I mean, she knew that she was doing something wrong. And she's had multiple marriages, and so I don't know how her other marriages have ended, but and part of me has compassion because it's two human beings that, you know, clearly need a little help. But then I start to lose some of that compassion when I start to think about their family and their kids and just like making the right decision.
Well, I'm you know, as you know, I'm married.
Yeah.
And like I can go as far as two people are in two unhealthy or unhappy marriages. It's a very painful, scary thing that I can imagine. You have children, you have lives that you've created, and you're stuck. How do you really, like, what is the right move out of that? Do you break up your family? You know, do you have the kids, you know, have mom and dad?
Most of those people know the right answer. Do the hard thing. They don't.
No, you never. No, you don't. You do not. I would not cheat. You do not do that.
The hard thing. It's like we learned it. Like, it's always about doing the hard thing. The last thing you want to do, the last thing that guy wants to do is sit his wife down and say, "Hey, I love you. I love our family, but I am leaving this relationship."
Yeah, I mean,
and doing it in an honest way. Instead, he did the cowardly thing, which is to go have an affair and let the world blow up his marriage for him. And it's the same end result. I would assume they're not going to be together, but he did. And then I go to think, like, what role did alcohol play in this? Right? What role did drugs and alcohol? Like, I would imagine that they both weren't like stone cold sober, swaying in the big screen at the Coldplay concert.
I think I read, and I don't know if this is 100% true, that at the beginning of the night, you know, there was no, you know, no one was drinking, nothing, and slowly as they had a few drinks, you know, they started to get a little looser, and that happened. I don't know if that's just where I read something.
It's a bullshit excuse, man.
It's not. There's no excuse. There's no. It's wrong. It's wrong. And people, because anything that you do that ends up hurting other people as a result is wrong.
Yeah. And look, I mean, people can argue you don't know what was going on at home, you don't know what his wife's like, you don't know his family. That's fine. That's all fine. I am definitely someone who likes to know the whole story before I make my declaration on kind of where I stand with something. But the truth is, regardless of what his wife is or how she was behaving or what she was doing, she seems like a pretty sweet human. To do that is
yeah, no, it has real painful consequences.
And the crazy part is he'll get paid to leave if he hasn't already. I don't even know where it stands. I followed the memes for a couple of days and then I just got tired of it.
Well, what is that? I mean, like that's the other thing too, is that like this event at some concert somewhere just absolutely grabs everyone. Everyone's talking about it. I'm walking into the room. My father-in-law, is talking about it. Like wherever, like it's just obsessed.
Because everyone's got a camera, and we are now highlighting or able to highlight some beautiful stories and some tragic stories. And when there's a tragic story, it's the perfect storm of like it's a great meme.
Yeah.
It's an easy opportunity for people to trash other humans, and our society loves to trash other humans. And it's at this, I mean, Coldplay is a massive band. So it's it's got all the things kind of swirling around it. But my point in telling this story, and maybe we are sucked into the thing right now talking the way we're talking about it, but
we are.
Is there's something else there. So when you ask if everyone's addicted to something, I mean, I don't know that to be true, but I know that our world is manufacturing a lot of sick people.
Do you know any other men who are married that are unfaithful?
Do I know?
Yeah.
I mean, that's a loaded question for me. Yeah, I mean, do I know right now? Like, I don't have people active in my life that are having affairs, but I do know I've been around people in my life. Yeah, sure.
I do. And I'm shocked and almost scared by how easily that line can be crossed.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot more common.
Do you feel responsibility as their friend to tell someone, or do you feel like that's their job?
That's definitely circumstantial. If it was if my sister's husband, if I caught him cheating, would I tell my sister? Yes. But that's not this situation. And it's definitely not something I'm discovering. It's just information as a result of being, either close to somebody or around other people where like this is conversation that gets discussed. And it's not,
Yeah.
But it's again, like there's a lot of fantasy in it, and like people's lives. I mean, this stuckedness that you brought up in the beginning is a theme, here because
people aren't finding joy and they're not working on themselves, man. Like it feels cheesy sometimes when I talk about therapy and the work I'm doing but at the end of the day, man, that is what allows me to find joy in my everyday life. That is what allows me to seek the things that I really want to do, the relationships that I really want to be a part of.
Yeah, man. I mean, like it's hard. It's hard because when you say that, what one thought I have in my head is that, like, like a lot of people they don't have the time. They don't have the time. They don't have the resources. They
For
like
what?
To take care of themselves in a way that like may prevent some shitty.
I'm thinking about you as you say that, and I think it's bullshit.
I mean,
everyone can wake up earlier. Everyone go to bed a little bit earlier. And it's about, if you're in a partnership with kids, and I don't have kids, but it's about communicating your needs. I need this. I need this time. In order for me to be the best partner to you, this is something that I need. I think we struggle as humans to communicate our needs because we feel like that means failure.
No, I agree with you there. I think it also means that like we're admitting that something's wrong. And that something needs, I mean, if we're talking about like, someone doing that with themselves.
I mean, bro, you walked in here with Achilles tendonitis after you worked out for 3 days. Like, you got to fight through that.
Dude, I have tendonitis in my Achilles. Dude, I believe me, like I was, and like this was, I'm very like happy like that I was able to find a pool and start swimming. And
Jay started swimming in a pool, and 3 days into that swimming exercise,
I was doing fucking hardcore laps, man. No, I really was trying to push myself, and I was doing other things. I was doing like some with minimal, no weights, but just like circuit push-ups, squats, lunges, blah 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 blah.
Of course,
because and you fucking say this all the time to the point where it's like, shut up, but it's right. It's like moving changes your mental health. We've had all these guys, people come on the podcast who say the same thing, and their recovery started that. And and I was an athlete. You know what I mean? Like I know what it feels like.
I saw something the other day that said a 6 mile run is equivalent to a 60 milligram hit of morphine, which, there's a school of people that's why running is dangerous for people in recovery. But no, like if there's a way for me to chase that high and chase that feeling, I feel that after I run. That's why I run so much, because it makes me feel good.
Yeah, I mean,
mental clarity.
Look, someone could say like, well, then, dude, you're still chasing a high, you're still addicted to.
Of course.
So what? And guess what?
Of course I am.
Of course you are, and we're fucking hardwired to do it, and some of us are more hardwired to do it than others.
Yeah, I mean, the word high is all relative. Like something that makes you feel good and happy, is that a high? Yeah, sure, but it's not a stick a needle in an arm high. It's a naturally. So, but back to real quick what you were saying about, does everyone have something? And then there was this other current event. So there was the Coldplay thing, and then there was the sadly the tragedy in New York this past week at 345 Park Avenue, which is a building I've been in many times. I've walked past many times. I know plenty of people that have worked there, and I don't know that we'll ever know the truth about why this guy decided to target this building. It sounds like there was some motive, behind the NFL. It sounds like he had struggled himself with CTE. But at the root of that, again, is clearly this guy had some mental health stuff going on.
I mean,
and it's so scary to me because I don't know anything about this guy's family. I don't know anything about the way he grew up. I don't know if he tried to go to treatment or get help, or maybe he just didn't know. You know, and people his whole life kind of push him to the side as some quote unquote weirdo or something. And so it's devastating. And I think this is why we tend to shy away from acknowledging the behavioral healthcare crisis, because a lot of times we don't know what to do. We don't know what to do. And that's scary for us as Americans and as people to admit. A lot of times this mental health stuff, best doctor in the world can't touch it. So they're going to go spend their time on cancer or heart disease or diabetes or whatever else. And that's why I think we have such a hard time. And then it ends and then there's an incident like this, and it's like people are asking why. It's like, oh man, it's just so sad for the families and everyone involved. And I see the world differently.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I think that I read something where he did leave a note to his parents saying that he felt like a disappointment. I don't know, man. Having kids in this world today, having, regular school shooter drills that you're like, that just wasn't happening. Right?
No, we had fire drills.
With fire drills.
Yeah. And
like, I understand that there was a point in time when, we were afraid that a nuclear bomb was going to be dropped on us, and we were and there were drills for that. But like, I don't think it can be explained. I don't necessarily think that like people are sicker. But it's obvious that someone like that is very seriously mentally disturbed. I mean, that's obvious. And the question is, like, to what you're saying is there a point? Like, if you could go back in time and you could say, if he was pushed this way, towards therapy, towards a community, or was able to learn more about himself, understand himself better, express himself better, could he have evolved into a more, well-adjusted human being?
It's a great question. It's a great question. And I think you'd have to ask a doctor or someone else because, I know what I know. And I've seen people recover, not just from substance use disorder, from suicidal ideation, from not wanting to be here, from, extreme anxiety. I always kind of talk about like, yes, have I had anxiety? Of course. Have I been depressed? Yes. And then I think at some point in the last 2 years, it was late last year, I think I got like what I would categorize as like clinical depression.
Yeah.
A darkness that I had never really felt in sobriety. And that shit was scary.
Yeah.
And when that came, I said, okay, I don't know how to even talk about this. I need to go do some things. I need to take care of myself, which I did. And I'm proud of that. But so there's levels of all this stuff, which is, why we do this show and why we try to talk about it, because ultimately I have hope that people can get well. Not everyone, but that there's a percentage of people that can. So,
and the answer will never be known, right? But it's like not everyone who has serious mental health issues is going to end up doing something like what that guy did.
No, and it's the hard part for me is when I talk to people about this in my life, and I'm going to be very clear about the way I say this because I don't want my words to get twisted. What the guy did was wrong. What the guy did was horrible. The families, the employees, the trauma that those people had to go through is going to create a whole host of new behavioral health care issues.
Yeah.
I also have been in this work long enough to know that this is a possibility. That someone is capable of doing these things. And I don't necessarily want to say like I have compassion for it, but if understanding is compassion, then maybe that's what I have. And it doesn't, I'm not here to sign off on what he did. It was terrible.
Of course not.
I'll be very clear about that, because words, especially in situations like this, can get twisted. I do think that our world should take a good hard look at it and understand that these things are possible.
Well, but like, how many hard looks do you take? I mean, like a guy walks into a Walmart in Michigan, and starts stabbing.
But what are you doing to prevent that?
Well, I mean, look, you can't really wade into this issue without it also becoming political, because, on one hand, I don't think anyone died. And like, you start to talk about something else, right? Because like that guy had a knife. If he had a gun, people would probably be dead. This guy had a gun and people are dead. So, the whole people, guns don't kill people kill people. This isn't a political conversation, but the reality is how much of what, and I don't know the answer to this because I don't know this guy's life, but how much of what he consumed, what he saw, became a nasty cocktail that made the idea of doing something like this a reality. I don't know. There's no answer to this. But like, look, man, you live in New York City. You hear the sirens. Don't think anything of them. You go outstate. You go, down to the shore. You go upstate. You go wherever the fuck. You go out of the city. You hear a siren or a fire alarm. Like you're like, what?
What's going on?
Something's going on. Yeah, but it's terrible.
Yeah, no, it's hard. It's bad, dude. It's bad, but it's why we're gonna kind of keep trying to do the work that we do, and it's something I talk to my team about. Safety. It's a real thing. Like we got to be very, very careful. It's why we do bag checks. It's why we, approach things the way that we approach things, because that crises and disaster is a real possibility.
Well, in sort of like an adjacent idea of that.
I thought we were gonna have fun today. I thought you said you wanted to have fun.
Yeah, we're having fun, dude. We're ripping it. This is fun. Oh. Well, it's sad. I mean, you are a hopeful guy, man. You are a fucking hopeful guy. I am not as hopeful as you. Because it's just hard when you see all the bad shit that happens, and it's the stuff that like we talked about the Coldplay that finds itself like pushed in front of your face.
Do you believe you can be hopeful, or do you like? I do. Yeah, I mean that's the thing, right? So you believe that you can be hopeful. You believe that you can change. I think the way that you came into this world, some of the things you have around, obsessively washing your hands and germs and some of your OCD stuff, like you can work on that stuff if you're willing to, and you can. Sure. And I think part of that probably feeds some of the neurosis or the paranoia or the constant worrying.
For sure.
So I don't know, man.
You just diagnosed me.
I don't know if I diagnosed you, but
No, but you're right. No, look, you can. I mean, look, that's how I got sober.
Yeah.
Like you had, but like,
I think the thing that I've been thinking about sobriety, and it's just like what we're talking about with you, is it's just like anything else in life. People get so caught up on the what. Are you going to go to 12-step recovery? Are you going to go to refuge recovery? Are you going to go to therapy? How are you going to do it? But the truth is, I believe the same thing goes for diet, for running, for fitness, for lifting weights, for OCD, for cancer. There's going to be a plan put in front of you. And if we as humans follow that plan, so like in AA, it's the 12 steps, in therapy or DBT, like there's workbooks. And we oftentimes as humans want to do the buffet. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to do that. I don't take medication, so I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to and it lowers your chances. Or, I'm in the gym. I'm working out 2 hours a day. I don't know why my body's not changing. Well, my diet is exactly the same.
Right.
I'm not willing to give up the food that I like to eat.
Right.
And that's the problem with a
discipline.
lot of these. Yeah, it's I don't think it's discipline. I think it's open-mindedness.
But I think that you you come to it through open-mindedness, and then you ultimately, like, because you can have a plan, right? You can have a plan. If you don't follow the plan, nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
You come to a plan because you're open-minded, but you have to do it. And like, the problem is that sometimes to really do it requires a lot of pain.
Yeah.
At least in recovery.
So, no, dude, these are all good topics. I appreciate it, and I just appreciate being able to kind of speak freely. And my life, for better or for worse, I get confirmation kind of daily of why I need to be doing what I'm doing. I just had, before I got here, I was sitting having a coffee, and some kid came up to me. I'd never met him before. Follows me on Instagram. Thank you so much. You've been a big part of my journey. Okay.
So when you're off of Instagram now, are you?
I'm not off. I have it on my phone. I can access it right now. I'm just.
You haven't. You've made.
I have been on it maybe once or twice a day and spent 10 or 15 minutes.
Is there like a personality or a character that you feel like you have to be on social media, and sometimes it's just nice to fucking not have to speak in that voice, or no?
No.
And that's not, I think you're incredibly authentic. I'm not saying you're not.
No, I don't. I mean, there's been times where I've wanted to sound better, like I'm working with a brand and I want the thing to, but anytime you want something to go well or you want it to perform, it always falls flat on its face. Like I think it's really just about, and I think social media does reward people for being authentic. I also think that some of my shit is just boring to a lot of people, because if you're not in recovery and you're not interested in behavioral health care, like a lot of my stuff's going to fall flat, and that's fine. Yeah. That's cool with me.
Yeah.
I don't, there's a formula for what works, which is, clickbait and taking strong opinions and going at people, or, posing half nude. I mean, we know what.
Yeah.
So, but it's truly all good. I mean, I've had some more headspace. I'm going to go, I'm going this weekend to the Jersey Shore. I got a race on Sunday. I got a 10-miler on Sunday down in Sea Isle. So it's 3 miles on the boardwalk, 7 miles on the beach. Very hard race.
Yeah, running on the beach is hard.
It's low tide. But you talk about discipline. I mean, I do this race every year. It's on my calendar every year. It's a non-negotiable for me. I'm running the 10-miler in Sea Isle. Period. End of story.
Well, it's, and you're right. Like, it's not even really like, because when I have started to see results, like if I'm committed to doing something and I start to see results, well, then it starts to kick in another part of my brain. Then it's like, all right, like this feels good. Like I feel like the older I get, sometimes I really have to remind myself that, like, you can learn something new. You can do something new.
Of course.
But I forget. You get in your ways, and
were you the one that was telling me the doctor 40 over 40 running's bad for you or some shit?
Yeah, I saw this guy, of course on online, that said, like, as a doctor, the 5 things that I would tell anyone over 40 not to do, and running long distance.
Such bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. I mean, the psychological benefits alone.
He was talking from it's hard on your body, blah, 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 blah. Like, your body will break down.
There's a lot of things that are hard on your body. What else was on the list?
Smoking,
drinking, running.
And then diet. I mean, nothing that was like blew your mind. But like I am sort of, I do think we are in a new moment where I hear more and more people saying, like, no alcohol. No alcohol is good for you. Not saying not to drink, but any amount of alcohol. And it's not just, from you're going to go out there and feel like shit the next day, from a cardiovascular point of view, from how it affects your brain chemistry. And that's just different, dude. Like, we didn't hear that when we got sober.
Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just a cycle. 2 years from now, it'll be a 1.5 glasses of wine. It's the perfect amount of alcohol to live to 100. Who the hell knows?
I don't think any of it really matters. I don't think it really changes the way people.
It's scary to me. I mean, dude, we had Jeff Halvey, who was continuing, and he had me or the gym, like I was wearing an Aura ring.
Yeah.
I couldn't do it, man.
Oh, you took it off.
Fuck yeah, dude. I'm wearing this ring and like I get Aura ring is helping a lot of people and people want that data from me as a human. I don't like waking up in the morning being told what my sleep score is because I'm going to believe that.
Yeah.
Even if I feel like I slept really well.
Yeah.
One of the factors in the sleep score is latency, which is basically the amount of time it takes you to fall asleep. If I'm lying in bed reading or, how does the thing, and then that affects my score, it just became too much. I took it off.
Yeah.
It just was screwing with me.
Yeah.
And so some people want the data. They want to know everything about the way that their body works. I like to go based on feel. I like to go based on how I'm living my life. And maybe I'm the fool here. I don't know.
Well, I don't even know if do they really want the data, or like do they just want as much certainty and control as possible? Even now when you go to the doctor, you can log on to a My Chart or whatever. Like you get your test scores before the your lab results before the doctor does. It's like I don't want that shit, man. I don't want to be pinged at 11 o'clock at night that this email just came in and I can go now obsess.
Yeah.
And there are some people who don't give a shit, and I'm happy. Zach's checking his phone.
No, I'm just
You got a thing? You got a thing?
No, I'm just looking at my phone.
But the Aura thing, I agree with you, man. Like I read an article that in the Times that was talking about how like are these things making people more paranoid? And I would not want to do it. Because like you said, I know when I woke up and had a good night's sleep, and I know when I haven't.
Yeah. I think the moral of the story with this podcast and most of the things that we try to talk about is a lot of it's really scary. A lot of it's really hopeless, but there's hope, man. There's hope out there. There's opportunity. And, one of the things I think about is we've pigeonholed ourselves a little bit just because of the subject matter that we talk about here. Although there are tons of people who are either exploring recovery or in recovery that I think support us. And then you add in the family members of folks. And there's a good population of humans that can listen to this. But the message I really want to deliver to people that listen to the show is like, it's not just about drugs and alcohol and mental health. It's about the way you have permission. I'm giving you permission right now in this moment to live your life the way that you would like to live your life. And if that means making a positive change, you have permission to go do that. So much of the way we are raised, and going back to our childhood, is we're being told no. Kids everywhere are being told, no, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that. It's programmed into us. And for me, I want to get to yes. I want to get to yes. One of my favorite stories ever is there's this kid that was arrested for spraying or tagging stuff in a city, and instead of his parents getting him in trouble, they said, that's an amazing skill you have. Here's a blank canvas. Let's start to create art. What a great teaching moment. Rather than punish your kid because he's out in the world spray painting some stuff, otherwise a good child, to say and look at it from another lens and say, hey, can't be tagging public property, but this is an amazing skill that you have. Let's work on it.
Right.
And I don't know how the story ends, but I'm sure he was doing something creative in his life because the parents gave him permission. No, 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 no. We all say no. Why? I don't get it. It's very strange to me. You get one shot to live.
Yeah, I mean, I hear you. I mean, look, like I agree with you. But we're also bombarded by everyone telling us, these phone, like just how to live and how to change and blah, blah, blah. And like, I do think though that, one objective of these conversations are to, reveal something about struggling with these issues from the inside out. Because from the outside in, it's like, I don't know much about that, and I hope I don't know someone who knows much about that. And everyone talks about, we got to talk about this stuff more, but it's how we talk about this stuff, and I think like really breaking it down and being able to like laugh about this shit, but
Yeah.
also be serious. Like that's important, man. You know, that's how you trick. It's like, you know, it's like putting the fucking pill in the ice cream so the kid will take it. You know, like sometimes you need to, because you see it and you're like, that's not my story. I don't understand that. And then you meet someone and all of a sudden, or you're struggling with it and you need help, you know, and help is always there. And that's where I'm with you 100%. The hope is always there.
Yeah. I mean, this was good. I think, you know, I got to wrap here in a minute, but you know, that's the other thing, you know, we've talked about with this show is like how much time and energy do I really have to give to it? And if I could do this full time, it might look a little different, but we're going to keep working hard to try and get it out there to the best of our ability. I mean, look, I am genuinely curious if like you've hung on this long. Hello. And you're still listening, you know, please, you know, we're trying to build a community. We're trying to provide some resources, some education, some hope for people out there. And if you have thoughts or you want to write in, or, you know, Jay's accessible, I'm accessible, Sarah, our producer's accessible. Like we mean it. Like we really just want to make this the thing that you want, not what we want, because I have ideas about what I want things to be and they're not always right.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
So how do you close an episode, Jay? What's the proper... I've been told that my closing is very abrupt sometimes.
Well, I mean, I think in a situation like this, it's like, you know, this was a good conversation, and, you know, please send in some DMs if you have any questions or thoughts, and like or subscribe and all that shit. But really, like, look, like we're gonna keep doing this. You know?
See that energy around like the like and prescribe, like that's me, right? Like that's my energy, which is like, oh, none of this stuff matters, but it does matter.
It absolutely fucking.
It
matters,
does,
man.
and like that's where I think I've gotten twisted, and like that was probably my energy coming out of you, which is like, oh, but like you do need people to like, you do need people to subscribe, you do need people to listen, because that is ultimately what is going to carry this thing on and give it life. And I think when I say passive aggressively, like, oh, like and subscribe, that's discrediting the people that are listening. And so I think this is an opportunity for me to say, like, thank you for those who do listen and who do like and who do subscribe. We do need your support.
Absolutely.
And I think part of me is just being embarrassed to ask for help.
Yeah.
Because I feel differently, or that it feels however it feels to me to ask for someone to like something.
Yeah. I hear you. So please like, subscribe, follow us, and we'll be back.
That's all. Thanks, guys.